This is going to be a very interesting video. I'm going to open up a little bit and tell you about a tough time in my life where I was like depressed. I was just out of there. I was gone. I was the worst like mental state I've ever been in. And I want to go over why that was the biggest blessing I've ever had. This was a time in 2015. Things were very tough. I was going through like a very traumatic breakup, and I was also just depressed in general. And when I say this, I don't mean like I wasn't grateful for what I have or what I had at the time, or that I wasn't like joyful for certain things. It was just, I was just depressed. Like I was in high school. Every teenager usually goes through this. A lot of them do. And I was just depressed. Tough time. The person I loved is not with me anymore. And, I was started smoking weed and other drugs. And it was a very like vulnerable, very tough time in my life. Of course, now that I look back at it, I'm like, this is, such a big blessing. I can't believe I went through this and I'm back where I am now. But when I'm going through it, when I'm in that moment, I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. I just want to die. I don't want to feel like this. I hated it. It was the worst mental state I've ever been. I've never been so mentally like low, so weak, so just like done with life, just gave up on everything. And I was, how old was I? 17, 18, but just so done with life. I didn't care. I didn't matter. Like nothing mattered, bro. At that time, I never noticed. At that time, I was like, this sucks. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to continue. Every difficulty that I, faced at that time, I don't know why I faced it. I don't know why, like, I even felt that low. I would ask God all the time, like, can you please take this away from me because this sucks? I don't know what's going on. I stopped believing God. I didn't have any trust in myself, no faith in God, nothing. But now that I look back at it, I'm like, okay, that was important. That was a time in my life that I needed. But now fast forward to 2024 and I'm just like looking back at it, I'm making this video. I'm like, that was a big blessing. And why was it a big blessing? And I'm making this because I want other people to realize that whether you're in this situation right now or whether you went through this, I want you to realize that certain things happen in your life, whether good or bad, but they all end up happening for your good. Like they happen for a reason. At that time, I didn't know why this would happen. I had a feeling, but it wasn't like 100%. I was just so low, like so down, and like I didn't know why it was happening. Now I look back at it, I'm like, I know exactly what happened. I know exactly why it happened. I know exactly the benefits that came out of it. So that's why I'm making this, to kind of give people hope, a little bit of motivation that hey, you can go through tough times, you can go through a major depressive season, but as long as you stick to it, as long as you freaking don't kill yourself, you stick to it, you stay alive, and you keep moving, eventually you'll get over it. Eventually you'll see the fruits that came out of that. What are some of the benefits that came out of it? Why do I say it's such a big blessing? What was the benefits? Why do I say it's such a big blessing? Because, well, obviously you're so low, you're able to appreciate the highs in your life. Right now things are finally good mentally, right? Everything was good around me, but I'm talking about mentally. Right now things are so much better mentally. I'm able to appreciate that more because I had went through such a low, like rock bottom, that I thought I'd never get out of. That I thought, because when you go through it, you're just like, this is how my life is. Like there's no escaping this. This is how my life's gonna be. But now you're like, oh, okay, like you can escape, you can become better, things do get better. I wouldn't be able to appreciate that. I wouldn't be able to appreciate what I have now mentally if I didn't go through that extreme low at that time. I also wouldn't be able to have the wisdom that I have now. And by wisdom, I mean like understanding that life is not, because I'm Muslim, so we as Muslims, we believe life is just a test. We're just here to be tested. So because of that, I'm not looking for heaven in life. I'm not looking for joy and happiness in life. Of course, there's moments of that, there's seasons of that, and when it comes up, I'm going to be grateful. But it's like I'm not looking for that because I understand the nature of life. Things come and go. The person who I loved at that time, who I thought was the person that I was going to marry, she left. And that was the first time I actually ever felt like, oh shit, like this can happen. Like a person that I love so much that I'm going to marry just leaves. I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know you could go through a breakup and just be depressed. Now that I've went through that, I'm like, oh, like this is one of the ways, but this is just the nature of life. Like things come and go. People die. People leave. I have the wisdom now. I understand that now. But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that sometimes things just don't go your way. Sometimes people leave. Sometimes things can just go wrong. And honestly, the person who I'm going to marry now, I wouldn't be able to marry that person if that other person in 2015 left. You know what I'm saying? Like that person in 2015, I thought that was like my everything. But it's like now I'm like, oh no, this is the one that I want to marry. So thank God I don't have her because this is the real one. Like the same thing. I appreciate the things that I have more now because of what I lost at that time. So the second thing is wisdom. It gave me the wisdom to understand the nature of life, how life is. You're not going to have everything you want. You're not going to get everything that's going to make you happy. It's just how it is. I needed to be taught that lesson. I needed to understand that. Everyone needs to be taught that. Maybe that's why you're going through a depressive time right now. Maybe that's why you were so depressed and you're questioning like, what the hell was that? Why did I go through that? Maybe because of this, to learn just about life, to learn, to get a little bit more wisdom. That's why I think it was such a big blessing in my life, because it's like I wouldn't know what I want now. I wouldn't know like who I want to be now. I wouldn't be grateful for what I have now. I wouldn't understand life the way I do now if I didn't go through that. And it was such a tough time, like just looking back at it. And I'm sure you can agree because I'm sure you've been through the same exact thing. And at that moment, in that time, you're just like, I wish this was taken away from me. Like, I don't know why I have this. I don't know why this is happening to me right now. But the wisdom of it, the blessings that come out of it, like countless. I can't even count. There's so many more. I just like keeping my videos short, but there's so many more. So if you're going through a situation like this, or if you've went through it, be grateful and look for those blessings. Look out for those type of blessings, the wisdom, right? The joy that you experience now, the gratefulness. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that your mind is better now.